We are about a week away from one of the most hyped up video games in the sports community to finally released, as EA Sports' College Football 25 is going to be coming out, and they released the top 100 players in the game today. So we're going to be looking at these players, talking about if I think they're too high, too low, or if I think they got the rankings right. If you guys are new to the channel, consider hitting that like and subscribe button. I do tons of college football, NFL draft, and NFL content over here. So if you guys do enjoy videos like this, consider subscribing. But let's go ahead and get into it. So the top players in the game are the two Wills in college football, in Will Johnson from Michigan, the corner, and Will Campbell from LSU, the offensive tackle. I'm a fan of both of these players. I think Johnson is the best player in college football right now. Will Campbell has some of the best hand placement of any offensive tackle I think I've seen. So I'm a big fan of the first two. I think they got them right. And then as you continue down the board, Ollie Gordon is the same overall at a 96. So the top three players in the game are 96s. They didn't have any 99s, which I think was the right decision. You look at Ollie Gordon, I would probably have Quinshon Judkins, who's a 95, ahead of him, but I'm not mad at it. I think Ollie Gordon is a great player, and I think it makes a lot of sense. James Pierce, Caleb Downs are the next two guys. Pierce, I think, is the best edge rusher in college football. Caleb Downs was a revelation as a true freshman. I think one of the big realizations here is that Ohio State's going to be terrible to play against. You look at this page alone, Caleb Downs is a 95. Quinshon Judkins is a 95. Emeka Egbuka is a 93. And then you got Travion Henderson, who's a 93. They've got multiple 90-pluses in the backfield. So that's really interesting. Some other players that stuck out, Mason Graham, Malachi Starks, both 95 overalls. Malachi Starks, super fun player, very versatile defensive back. And then Mason Graham is right up there with James Pierce, I think, as one of the best defensive linemen in the country. You got Travis Hunter, who's a 95. They've got him listed as a wide receiver, but he's got attributes to play on both sides of the ball, as you see over here. Tate Ratledge and Luther Burden down the board as well. I think Burden might be a little bit low. I get it. I think he should be listed a little bit higher than Travis Hunter. If you guys saw my wide receiver rankings the other day, I think Burden is the best receiver in college football right now, and I think he's a little bit low. He's a number 11 player in the game. I'd probably put him in the top 10. Benjamin Morrison, great corner from Notre Dame, no complaints there. Kelvin Banks, awesome left tackle from Texas. Then you kind of look, there's some quarterbacks down here. Shadur Sanders, Carson Beck. Shadur Sanders is the top-rated quarterback in the game. That has caused a little bit of controversy. I don't hate it. Him and Carson Beck are the same overall. I think Shadur Sanders is a great quarterback, and I think he did deserve one of those top three spots. I think one of the more interesting things to me on the first slide is the run on linebackers you see with Barrett Carter at number 15, Jay Higgins at number 16. Thought that was a little bit interesting. Then you see a couple other running backs down the board, and Jay Knott, one of my favorite players in college football, and Travion Henderson. Deone Walker is a 93. I always forget if it's Deone or Dion. I'm just going to go with that for now. And then Mikael Williams as well. The athleticism and the acceleration and speed on that guy is going to be next level. So overall, with this first top 25, I think it's pretty good. I don't really have any complaints there. You move on to the next 25, and it's a little bit interesting here. Walter Nolan at a 93. We just talked about it with Mikael Williams, excuse me. His acceleration and athletic scores are going to be off the charts. Quinn Ewers, very curious what his deep ball ranking is going to be. I think they released it, but I have not looked that far into it. That's going to be something I'm really intrigued to see. You keep looking down the board here a little bit. Xavier Watts, I think, might be a bit high. I like the Jack Sawyer placement, another Ohio State guy. And Dylan Gabriel's a 92. That's going to be an interesting player to play with his quickness in the backfield as well as his arm. Harold Perkins, I think he should have been on that same tier as Barrett Carter and Jay Higgins, but he is a bit small for the position. Malachi Moore catching my eye there at number 35. Versatile defensive back, might be a bit high for me, truthfully. Clay Webb at 37, one of my favorite players in the country. Glad they showed him a little bit of love. He is awesome. And then Jonas Sanker as well from Virginia, another player who I absolutely love at a 92. Jonah Monheim, they got him listed as a center. I think he can play any 5 positions on the offensive line in the game. He's a 92. Some more running backs. I think this is probably my biggest complaint here. You look at the running backs here. You've got Taj Brooks. You had Amarian Hampton, Quinshaw Judkins, Travion Henderson on the last page, Ollie Gordon. Then you look down a little bit more, Devin Neal. And then at 91, it's Ashton Jeanty from Boise State. That's criminally low. That is absolutely ridiculous for one of the best running backs in the country. He can catch passes out of the backfield. He can block. He might be better. Not might. I think he is better than Ollie Gordon. And for them to have him as the 7th or 8th graded running back, EA, don't really like that decision. Torrey Horton, however, I think that's great for him. An athletic freak at Colorado State. Dylan Fairchild, a bit high for me. Not a player that I was particularly in love with, but one of my favorite players in the entire country, Jason Henderson from Old Dominion. Gets into the top 50 as outside linebacker, as a tackling machine. Maybe not the biggest guy in the world, but Jason Henderson is fantastic. Takario Davis as well at number 34. The second Arizona player here, Sebastian Castro, the safety corner. I'm not really sure where they're going to have him in the game. They got him listed as a free safety. He's a 92. The highest rated tight end in the game is Colston Loveland, also at a 92. And then Tyler Booker. I like Booker. I think he should be the number 1 interior guy in this class, though. So a few complaints here on this just based on where the rankings are. As much as I love Sanker, don't know if he's the 39th best player in college football, but I'm not going to complain about it. I think it's pretty solid as a whole. I think Quinn Ewers is the only quarterback we have on this page. We move on to the next 25 and more Ohio State guys to get it started. We have 2 more. We've got Denzel Burke and we've got Tyleik Williams, and I think both of them are elite players at their positions. Danny Stutzman, awesome middle linebacker. Surprised he's not in the top 50. I might take him over Jason Henderson as much as I love that guy. Luke Kandra, super fun player from Cincinnati as well on the offensive line. Some good stuff there. Kyman Rucker, if you want to use her off the edge, he might be one of the most fun guys to use in the game with his speed. He's got pass rush moves. I think he's going to be really fun. Logan Parr, an offensive lineman from SMU. A lot of offensive linemen on this page, but another guy that I think might be a little bit too low, Kevin Winston Jr. at 57. What can't this guy do? I don't think he has a single missed tackle in his collegiate career. So he can tackle, he can cover. He's not the fastest guy in the world, which might bring his overall down a little bit. You got the other Michigan defensive tackle and Kenneth Grant there at a 91. UCF's first running back in RJ Harvey's on the other side. Tons of running backs that are going to be so much fun to use in this game. Then you got some corners down there, Maxwell Hairston, Ricardo Hallman, Kobe Bryant as well. Trying to see if there's anyone. Jalen Milroe at a 90. A little bit surprising. I think he could be a little bit higher. The guy's got a cannon of an arm. He's got speed. He's got athleticism. Surprised he's that low on the list, to be honest, at number 71 in the game. But I understand it. Aronde Gadsden was awesome before he got hurt. They've got him as a 91 tight end, wide receiver, kind of hybrid player. So that's going to be interesting. And then Mitchell Evans, the second tight end we have. Don't really hate any of this. I think most of this is pretty accurate to where I would have then. Tez Johnson, his speed's got to be a 99 in this game. The guy is an absolute blazer. Dante Corleone, prayers up for him. He's got some blood clots going on currently, so status is a little bit up in the air, but awesome player from Cincinnati. Jackson Dart as well from Ole Miss. I like this. I think this is a pretty strong group here. And then we get into the final 25 players here. Deontay Lawson, the linebacker from Alabama. I like that. Ruben Bain was maybe the best true freshman in college football last year. He comes in at a 90 overall. Jalen Daniels at a 90. I think this is the most high overrated player in the game. I like Jalen Daniels. I think he's a good player. I don't think he should be a 90 overall. Noah Fafita is not in the top 100. He was one of the best quarterbacks in the country last year. He should be in the top 100, at least over Caden Salter from Liberty, who's also down this list a little bit. That one made me a little bit upset. Trying to look, Nick Martin, you've got Dylan Thieneman out of Purdue, Hunter Wohler. I think Thieneman could have been higher. He's a freak athlete. He had an incredible true freshman season. I'm not saying he's on that tier with Caleb Downs, but I think he definitely should be higher. Nick Scourton is a little bit low for me. Truthfully, I think he should be a little bit higher. He can drop into coverage. He's athletic. He's big. I think he should be in that 93 overall range. And he played like that. Trey Harris at a 90. Going to be very curious to see his separation statistics in the game. Kyle Monangai at Rutgers is going to be a really fun one there over at 96. Couple Liberty guys kind of finished this off in the top 100. You got Quentin Cooley. You've got Caden Salter, who we mentioned. Emory Jones at a 90. I don't think the gap is that large between him and his teammate Will Campbell. Peter Woods, I'm very curious. This is a question I have. Is EA going to be updating the overalls as the season goes along? Because Peter Woods could be in that 94, 95 range. Was fantastic last year and showed some real upside. Billy Bowman, he's going to be fun. If you want to user a linebacker, I like Nick Jackson as well from Iowa. I think that's a good one. Mason Taylor at a 90, Oscar Delp at a 90. Trying to see if there's anything else that really sticks out to me here. Howard Cross, Evan Stewart. Bit surprised Evan Stewart's that low. One of the fastest receivers in the country, got good hands. Think he could have been a little bit higher on this list as well. But you guys let me know. Who did they leave out of the top 100? Like I mentioned, I think Noah Fafita not being on here is criminal. I think he absolutely should be on this list. I think that I didn't see Isaiah Bond on this list. I think he should be on here. So there's a few guys I think they definitely missed out on. However, I think the top 100 is pretty reasonable. If you guys enjoy videos like this, leave a like, subscribe if you are new, comment down below what you guys think. I'll see you guys in the next one. Adios.